Hi, I'm Tealish, and you're watching Coffee and Clicks. I want to start by saying thank you. One of my more recent videos about pulp, the pulp format in HeroClix, just reached 1,000 views. So stuff like that really motivates me to keep making more content. Please, if you like my content, if you enjoy HeroClix content and Coffee and Clicks, my channel, then please go like and subscribe. Like this video and subscribe to my channel and hit that bell for notifications. So I really appreciate it. And so for today, we're going to be doing another pulp review. We're going to look at the more recent pulp figures. For those of you who don't know what the pulp format is, it's only commons, uncommons, and rares allowed. Every figure is considered unique. No other game elements are allowed, no equipment or anything like that. It's only figures, and you are allowed a sideline, but only figures allowed, and they have to be commons, uncommons, and rares. So with that being said, we're going to look at the figures from the newest set, Marvel HeroClix Next Phase. And we're also going to look at figures from the Wheels of Vengeance set that came out earlier. And I hope you're really going to enjoy this. I hope you're going to be interested in this HeroClix pulp content. And let's get right into it. Hi again, I'm Tealish, and you're watching Coffee and Clicks. I'll just go over the pulp format one more time, because we're going to be doing, in this episode of Coffee and Clicks, we're going to be looking at the pulp figures from Marvel Next Phase and Marvel Wheels of Vengeance. So we're going to take a look at those. So let me just quickly go over the pulp format. It's up on the screen there for you to look at. Non-prime figures from DC Comics and Marvel booster sets are the only figures that are allowed. And they have to have a white, green, or silver rarity tab, which means that they are considered common, uncommon, or rare. And all characters are considered unique, so you cannot play two characters or more from that have the same set number. The characters are considered unique. Also, teams may only consist of characters in the pulp format, so you cannot use equipment or another game element that would not be considered a character. So let's get right into it. Let's take a look at some of the figures from Next Phase or Wheels of Vengeance. We have Kevin up there on the screen. That is definitely not a pulp figure. It's not. That is illegal in pulp. So, all right. So let's go into. Let's look at Wheels of Vengeance first, since that is the older set. We have here. Let's see. Let me get closer to my microphone here. I think some of the good figures from Wheels of Vengeance. Howard the Duck, I like him. He is good, really good in sealed. I think people sleep on him in sealed, but I mean, a pulp is different from sealed because it is a constructed format. But I think Howard the Duck is actually something that is a figure that is pretty good. He has the team player team ability, so he can copy other team abilities. He can copy Avengers, or he can copy Defenders, which he does have the same keyword, Defenders. He can copy any team ability that's copyable, and he has improved targeting out of adjacency. So he has range combat expert traded, and probability control, but to target himself. So I mean, if you base him against somebody, well, he's really just there as a cheap perplex. He's 30 points for a cheap perplex that can be carried around because he's tiny size. But I mean, he actually in a pinch he can be a solid he can get you some damage. He can be an attacker because he has precision strike his whole dial, and he's got that range combat expert, so he's hitting for 11 for 2 with precision strike, so you're at least dealing 1 damage, right? And then if he copies something like Avengers, then he's really doing 12 for 2. If he perplexes his own attack, he could be a 13 for 2. So and that's, I mean, the precision strike there is key there, because he's at least getting you that 1 damage. And even if he's tied up with someone, or if he's tying somebody up, because he's a good tie-up piece too. He has stealth and he has combat reflexes. So you know, you can sit him in stealth and have that perplex handy, or you can tie him up against somebody. Well, actually, he's tiny size, so it is easy to break away from him. But I mean, even still, he in a pinch, he can deal some damage if you need that like extra damage. I think the team player is really key there. I think he's just a really good cheap perplex that can be carried around. I really like Howard the Duck. Every time I've played him in sealed, he's done really well for me. I know Pulp is different from sealed, but I just wanted to point him out. I do like him. What's another figure from Wheels of Vengeance that I like? Let's take a look. Manwolf. Manwolf's really cool because he's 60 points and he's got the Spider-Man team ability. So, that's copyable. He also has that of Wolf and Man trait where he can be placed within 4 squares in line of fire in a square of hindering, and he has plasticity and stealth. So he has traded plasticity, and he does have that Moon trait where he can most likely get shape change. But so he'll have shape change and super senses on a 6. But if he does not get shape change, then he's even better, because then he's getting +1 attack and flurry, and he has charge and can be placed within 4 squares in line of fire. On a map with a lot of hindering, he's really good because you can place him 4 and then charge 4 and possibly get a flurry. And he's got Battle Fury his whole dial, so he gets around opposing shape change. So he's really good. I like Manwolf for 60 points. He's got a lot of great keywords. Let's see. Let's take a look at some other figures in Wheels of Vengeance. Frenchie's really good. I mean, I skipped Frenchie. I went straight to Manwolf in the uncommons, but Frenchie is someone that if you're playing vehicles, you definitely could use him to be kind of like to give your vehicle character some powers. You can give him perplex. You can give him sidestep and close combat expert. You can give any vehicle character. You can give them some powers using his ride like the wind trait. So I really like Frenchie. Let's see. What's another figure from Wheels of Vengeance? Unfortunately, the Hell Cycle is not legal in Pulp, and I've had some questions asked about that on previous videos. It would be cool if the Hell Cycle was legal in Pulp, but Pulp is no equipment. So Hell Cycle is not considered a character; it's considered equipment, so that's not usable. Werewolf by Night is a pretty interesting character. That Moon trait is pretty good, and Werewolf by Night has the ability to use with leadership. He can move monster keyword characters. So you know, free movement is always good. If he succeeds on that leadership, you may move a friendly character with the monster keyword 1 square. If he's 80 points, you can move any number of friendly characters with the monster keyword 1 square. So some potential combos there. And Werewolf by Night is not as easy to KO as he looks. He's got some pretty good reducers. He's got senses in the back half of his dial. And he, you know, with the shape change and the senses, it would be hard it's not easy to KO him. And he's got Mystics. He's got the Mystics team ability. I really like him with, I mean, I like monster as a keyword for Pulp because of the new Jack Russell that just came out. We'll take a look at him in next phase. When I get to the next phase figures, I do like Jack Russell. I like Hand Ninja. I like this figure a lot because this is the 1x2 Hand Ninja from Wheels of Vengeance. I like him because I like this figure. Because this figure has the Underworld team ability, so it's easily copyable for 30 points. Copying Underworld at 30 points is really good. Also, Hand Ninja, they are able to move, and then after resolutions, they can use Smoke Cloud as free, which is a really good ability paired with his other ability that says when Hand Ninja carries one or more friendly characters, those characters can use stealth until your next turn. So Hand Ninja carries a usually just one because Hand Ninja is only 30 points, but Hand Ninja uses the Underworld team ability to carry a figure, gives that character stealth, and then immediately for free uses Smoke Cloud so that that character is now in stealth in the Smoke Cloud. So that's really cool. And being able to, having other characters on your team be able to copy the Underworld team ability for only 30 points, I think that's a lot of value. This Hand Ninja is deceptively good and like sneaky. I like it. Iron Fist. I think Iron Fist is really cool for what he does at both point values, 75 and 30. I would probably play him at 30, but I mean 75, I think is good too. He has the team ability, so he can copy another team ability. He's got senses his whole dial, so copying the Spider-Man team ability would be really good, or copying Wonder Woman or something like that. He has traded willpower, and opposing characters within 4 squares that can use willpower only succeed on a 6. So taking away willpower from your opponent is good, right? But then he also has this ability that that when he attacks, one or more opposing characters modify his attack +2 if any of the targets are multi-base or have one of the following: giant size, colossal size, or monster keywords. So that's like every character right now has monster or is multi-base because Wheels of Vengeance just came out. So I mean this character is in the Wheels of Vengeance set. So he's really good within his own set as a sealed figure, but he's also really good. I would say he's good in Pulp. He has Precision Strike and Exploit, and he has Charge and Force Blast. Force Blast is free, so you could just move him, his full move, and then Force Blast somebody and knock them back. That's really good. Or you can charge them, and then, I mean, you could do all sorts of things with him with knocking people back. Yeah, I mean, Iron Fist is a really good figure. I like him. He's got great keywords. We have Zarathos. Zarathos is a great figure. I think he's great at. He's good at 30 points because you have the prob, right? And he has the Screaming for Vengeance trait. But also at 125, he's really good too because he's just like a main attacker, right? As long as you can keep him from getting like based and getting tied up, because I think that's your strategy against Zarathos, is to like kind of tie him up and nullify him. But I like him a lot. He's got prob, he's got 2 stop clicks, he's got penetrating damage. He's a beast. Zarathos is a beast, and with those 2 stop clicks, he's got mystics. So every time that your opponent is attacking him, they're taking mystics damage. And he's got regen on those stop clicks too, just in case you need to try to heal him up. Let's see. I'm gonna skip to Blackheart. Blackheart is probably the #1 figure right now in Pulp. Out of these 2 sets, I'd say still. If you go back to my video with Lucas, we talked a lot about the Pulp figures, so I'm not going to go over the other Pulp figures that are popular and really good. But I mean, we talked about Red Widow being the number one figure. And I do think Red Widow is really dangerous to face, and she is a great figure in Pulp. She's probably the number one figure. But Blackheart here would be like number two. I think Blackheart's really good. Just the ability to place two figures with that have the monster or mystical keyword adjacent to him after he places himself, so you can it's essentially like even better than a TK, and it's for two figures, and he doesn't even need line of fire to do it. He just needs range. You're getting them 6 squares away. It's really good. Blackheart's just a really good figure. He's also got a power, so you can utilize him to get that extra damage. I would use him at 50 points. I mean, 100 points, he's not bad at 100 points. I mean, in sealed, he's great at 100 points. But I think if people are using him in constructed, I think they're using him at 50 points. But this Blackheart is really great. So if you know, and by the way, for any of these figures, if I'm like going through them too fast, I'm not really reading the card 100%. So feel free to pause and take a look at what the figure does, because I'm just kind of going through them really quickly and talking about which ones I like. I'm not reading the card in its entirety. Also, go check out HC Units, because that is where I am pulling these figures from on the HC Units website, hcunits.net. So you could go check out HC Units as well. All right, so let's take a look at, let's see what other figures I like from Wheels of Vengeance in Pulp. I do like, well, this one's a weird one. I've had a lot of success with Death Rider in sealed. He's not obviously like a good figure. He's just like a charge piece, but he has I mean, the back half of his dial is really cool. How he has this giant reach X, where X is equal to his current click number. But I mean, like, he's got Charge Blade's exploit, and the really cool thing about him that I like the most about him is that he generates the Sarah bystander. So when a character friendly or opposing with a mystical keyword is KO'd, after resolutions generate a Sarah bystander. And this bystander is just so good. She's so good because she has support and perplex, and blades and penetrating psychic blast. But I mostly find her outstanding because of the support and perplex. That Mephisto is bad, Lilith is worse. Damage power that she has. You know, you can just get her in the mix and start perplexing your friendly characters or your opponent's characters. Perplex them down. And so perplex is always good. It's one of the powers that you always need is perplex. And then when your characters start taking some damage, you just start supporting them with Sarah, and your opponent has to waste an action KOing Sarah in order to get rid of your support, right? Because usually your opponent doesn't want to attack Sarah. They just want to attack your characters that they're going to get points from. So they're kind of usually ignoring Sarah, and Sarah's sitting there supporting all your figures. And she also has super senses, so even if they do attack Sarah, there's a 1 in 3 chance that they're not going to hit her. So that's great. That's why I like Death Rider, mainly because of Sarah. But I mean, I think maybe he's better in sealed than he would be in Pulp. But I mean, it would be interesting if somebody tried him out. I think he's pretty cool. Let's see. The next figure that I really think is a big standout is Orb. I think a lot of people know about Orb already. Orb is an amazing piece. He has the assassin keyword, so he pairs well with your like soldier, assassin, spy, and thunderbolts. Because you'll see in the next phase, there's a figure that makes all of those keywords into Thunderbolts. So if you are playing theme, it would be cool. That's cool to put them all together. But assassin is a strong keyword in Pulp. I mean, a lot of people in Pulp are playing non-theme, but if you do, let's say you have a format where you have to play theme, Assassin's a pretty good theme. So is Mystical, so is Monster. And Orb has all of those keywords. And Orb has Vehicle, so if you want to use Frenchie on Orb, I think, I don't know if Frenchie requires you to be a standard character. Let me see. Friendly character with a vehicle keyword. No, it does not have to be a standard character. So... actually, no. Orb is a standard character. He's just a 1x2, but he's still a standard character. So, does it say single base? No. Yeah. So Orb is Orb's great. His attack rolls of Snake Eyes are critical hits instead of critical misses. And when Orb attacks, you may replace one die in his attack roll with a 1. So if you roll that 1 and a 6, you roll a 7, right? You roll a 1 and a 6. You take that 6. You make it into a 1, and now you have 2 1s, which means it's a critical hit instead of a critical miss. So there's like a really good chance. I mean, as long as you roll a 1 out of your 2 die rolls, right? Out of your 2 d6, if one of those d6s is a 1, then you rolled a crit. Then you rolled a crit hit. So and then. Also, once per game, you may choose that a friendly character's critical miss becomes a critical hit. If you do, Orb can't use this trait this game. So that's, in the worst case scenario, if, let's say, you crit miss and it's really detrimental, then you can make it into a crit hit. Or let's say you're going to really gain a lot from it and you can make it into a crit hit. And then Orb can't use the Watcher's Stolen Eye trait for the rest of the game. I mean, Orb is only 45 points. He has 7 clicks. He has Prob. He has Running Shot Energy Explosion with ESD. He's got Charge as well as Running Shot, so you can use him on close attacks. And when he crosses the rim of Elevated, he has Flurry. Also, if he moves through characters, that includes friendly characters, if he moves through blocking terrain, and if he moves through hindering terrain, he gets +1 attack for each of those that he moved through. And he does have improved movement. You can see his improved movement. He has improved movement on all that stuff. So Orb is really good. I like Orb a lot. I think Orb is for 45 points. I mean, he does get KO'd kind of easily. If your opponent, knows what they're doing, he can get KO'd pretty easily. But he still has a long dial, and he's only 45 points. So he's not bad at all. So that is Wheels of Vengeance. Let's take a look at... and those were my standouts from Wheels of Vengeance. I mean, Dracula. Dracula's another one, but I do like Dracula, but I don't really think he's a Pulp. I don't know. I think he's just too many points. I think he's too many points where he could get, your opponent. If you're not careful, you could lose Dracula early in the game and be down 125 points, and I think that's really tough to come back from. So I think he's good. I think he's a lot of fun in casual games, but I don't think he's someone worth really investing in for Pulp. But I could be wrong, because actually he's not bad. He's not a bad figure. So I'll bet that he could see some Pulp fringe play. So let's take a look at next phase and look through the figures in next phase for Pulp. We have, let's see, She-Hulk at 75 or 50. I've played with the She-Hulk. She's actually not bad. She's really good for a common. I mean, she has that team ability, so she can copy another team ability, and she has a really long dial, and she's got the Perplex. Perplex is always good, but she's pretty simple figure, nothing going on for her. But I don't know. I think we're gonna keep going and take a look at some of these other figures. Clint Barton, I think, is really good. because he has the Avengers Initiative and Shield team abilities, which is copyable. And he can choose any of the attack powers here. So he can choose Precision Strike. Even in a close attack, he can use Precision Strike because it's free. He can just choose an attack power. He can choose Energy Explosion. He can choose Penetrating Psychic Blast. So he can Running Shot and penetrating and use Penetrating Psychic Blast and Energy Explosion at the same time, because he can choose Energy Explosion, but he still has Penetrating Psychic Blast, so he does not lose that power on his first click. So that's kind of what makes him dangerous, because at 50 points, you have someone who can Running Shot Energy Explosion at 6 range, and possibly more if, let's say, one of your other characters copies the Shield team ability from him and helps him out and gets him a longer range. Then you could possibly, I mean, he's kind of like a glass cannon here. So I like Clint Barton. I mean, I think he's better at sealed than he is in pulp, but like, I do like that figure. Let's see, Miss Marvel. I think Miss Marvel's really good in pulp because she's a cheap TK with sidestep and barrier. So I think she could be really good in pulp. And she's got shape change, so she's not an easy KO. Plus she has 5 clicks and toughness. That's really good for 35 points. I mean, if you're playing theme, her keywords, you might, well, Cosmic and Celebrity are more prevalent than Young Avengers, but there are some good Young Avengers figures in this set. Let's see. So I do like Miss Marvel, the common. Let's see. Let me jump to a few others. Tracksuit. So I was talking about copyable Underworld team ability. Tracksuit is great because Tracksuit is they are only 15 points, and you can copy the Underworld team ability, and they have Empower and Sidestep. Sidestep and Power, Senses, Super Senses, which is great for only 15 points. Really good. I mean, if your opponent is wasting an outwitting a Tracksuit's Super Senses so that they can KO Tracksuit for 15 points, then you're doing something right. Like you don't that's good for you. Like if they're wasting an outwit on that, then kudos. That's really good. Yeah, like Senses gives them a 1/3 chance of evasion, and they have Empower, they have Sidestep, they have the copyable Underworld team ability. I really like this Tracksuit figure a lot. Let's see. Now, unfortunately, with that Clint Barton, by the way, I mean, you can't use Trick Arrow because Trick Arrow is an equipment, and I'm not sure if it's what rarity it's considered at. I know there's been some questions about that out there on the internet. I'm not sure what the Trick Arrow's rarity is considered, but you can't use it anyway because in pulp you can't use equipment. So let's see. Let's take a look at some other figures that would be good in pulp. Here's another cheap TK with Prob and could be used as a taxi, Wong, and takes away all other mystics. So if you're playing against a team that is using a lot of mystics, then Wong is pretty good. This common Wong, I like him. Jen Walters, I think Jen Walters is going to be really good in pulp. She has the team ability. She's only 30 points. She has Prob and Defend. 18 Defend for 30 points is great. She has Shape Change. So yeah, this Jen Walters is really good. Sideline active once per game for all characters with this effect. When a friendly character named She-Hulk of 40 points or more is KO'd. After resolutions, you may generate Jen Walters from your sideline on click number 4 in that character's square. If you do, Jen Walters isn't scored when KO'd this game. that's great. So you just get a free Jen Walters on click 4 that is 0 points, and it's a free sideline active effect. And she also has a trait, the Abamaste mindfulness trait, free, remove an action token from Jen Walters if you do give an action token to a friendly character with the Abamaste keyword within 4 squares. Okay, so I mean, you're getting a free prob from the sideline if you if one of your She-Hulks gets KO'd. Let's take a look at, did I skip any She-Hulks? We had that common She-Hulk, which I think is pretty good She-Hulk, actually. I mean, even though she's a very simple figure, I think she's pretty good. And did we skip any She-Hulks? Is there an uncommon She-Hulk? There probably is. It's probably not. I'm not up to it yet. She-Hulk. No, maybe there's a rare She-Hulk. Let's jump to it. Rare She-Hulk. She-Hulk, 60 points. Free. Remove an action token from She-Hulk. If you do, give an action token to a... So that we saw that Abamaste trait. And then she has a damage power objection, outwit. Once per turn, when an opposing character within 4 squares is given a free action, She-Hulk may immediately roll a d6. 3 through 6, that action results with no effect. Oh, that's actually a really good damage power. Not only does she have that outwit, but she can just turn off 1 free action per turn. You know, especially if she's in the mix, which she probably should be because she's She-Hulk. So, you know, she's a brute. So she wants to be doing a bunch of close attacks. So she'll probably be in the mix, and you can do that once per turn. You can turn off, you can like nullify a free action. So that's really good. And it happens on a 3 through 6. So there's a good chance that that's succeeding. And she has that copyable Avengers Initiative team ability. So that's really good. Also, I think for people wondering why does she have the Avengers Initiative team ability, which says improved targeting hindering when she has no range. I mean, she can still throw objects, right? So if she can throw objects and use terrain actions to throw objects, then she'll get that improved targeting hindering when she's targeting a character that's in hindering terrain. Yeah, that's really cool. And if she gets KO'd, then you can bring in Jen Walters. So I like that potential for Pulp. Let's see. Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Back to the uncommons. She's great, especially if you're playing theme and you really want to do a theme team in Pulp. She allows you to make assassins, soldiers, and spies into Thunderbolts keywords. She has prob from anywhere. She can count range and line of fire from the square of a friendly character with the Thunderbolts keyword. So you just sit her back, right? So you keep her in the back. You know, you keep her away from everybody else. Keep her away from your opponent. And then when you go to Pulse Wave with Deathstroke, you can prob it because Deathstroke can prob himself. You can prob. Valentina can prob counting range and line of fire from Deathstroke's square, and as long as she's out of range of the Pulse Wave, her prob will work. So I like that little combo there. And you know, you can get a theme team with like I'll do a team build video, but I have some ideas with this with the Thunderbolts, you know. So we'll take a look later. Let's see. Our next figure is Jack Duquesne. So the only thing I wish about Valentina is I wish she had leadership, but I think that would make her too good, right? Like with all the other stuff that she has going on, I think it would make her too good if she had leadership. So let's look at Jack Duquesne. Jack Duquesne is also really good, and he just deals a lot of damage, like potentially, right? Because he has exploit weakness and flurry, and blades, just traded. So, you know, with 2 attacks landing, and if you roll 6 on each attack, on each Blades roll, that you're potentially dealing 12 penetrating damage, which is insane, right? Like, it's really good. And the equipment part you won't be able to do in Pulp, but still for 45 points, you know, he can do a potential of between 2 and 12 penetrating damage, between 2 and 12. And it's precision strike he has, so he, you know, that gets around super senses somewhat. And I mean, even if he rolls a 1 on that Blades, he's still dealing 1 penetrating damage because he's got precision strike. So there's no way that he's going to deal 0 damage unless he misses. The close combat expert gives him a 12 attack when making close attacks. So yeah, I like Jack Duquesne. Also, really funny character in the show. So really like him. Let's see. Do you want to look at Harrow? Harrow, I think he's good. I don't think he's really going to be using, because he might be a little too many points for like a cheap leadership in constructed. But I think he's decent. Layla El Faouli. Layla El Faouli. I think she's great. I think this is a really great figure in Pulp, because she has Perplex and Outwit, so she has 2 powers that you need for constructing like a good team, like 2 of the powers that you're always looking for, Perplex and Outwit. She also has a stop click with super senses, and she has the team player team ability, so she can copy other things to make her even better. And not only that, but she has running shot with 2 targets and incap, so she can token people up. She can token your opponent up while perplexing and outwitting at the same time. So I mean, she's a great support piece. She is 50 points, but still very good for 50 points. I think she's good. I think she'll be like a sleeper figure in Pulp. I think she's good. Let's see. Let's take a look at this other tracksuit. This other tracksuit also has a copyable Underworld team ability. I do not like this tracksuit figure as much as the common, but they're both really good. So for 15 points, or actually for 50 points, right? Because now you're getting an outwit, right? So that's actually not bad. But I think for 50 points, there's no move and attack. I think I like the first tracksuit better, the common tracksuit, at 15 points. Elena, Runa. I'm just taking a look at some of the other figures here. Some of them I haven't seen every single figure in the set. I'm just taking a look at it kind of right now, and looking through. I mean, I have played with the set a couple times though. Runa was very good when I played in Sealed. She ended up being really good. Just being able to turn off the use of Perplex once per turn, if she's within range and line of fire, that's really good, because that it kind of nullifies your opponent's Perplex. It's actually a really strong power that she has, and then she's got 3 rollouts. She's got Shape Change that she can re-roll, and then she's got Super Senses. So Runa's good. I don't know if she would be good in Pulp, because she's 40 points. She's a lot of points for just a cheap Perplex, but she's kind of like a defensive piece, I feel like, with that catfishing damage power. But it would be interesting to see her on a Pulp team. I think in the state of Pulp right now is that there are a lot of figures that are kind of like used the most, right? Like Like everybody's still using Red Widow, everybody's still using Blue Marvel, everybody's still using Deathstroke. But then there are, that's why I wanted to take a look at these new sets and see if there's anything with potential and I'd like to see some added variety in the pulp format, and I'd like to see people trying to use other figures and see what's out there, right? Because none of a lot of these that I'm naming, a lot of these figures I'm naming are not going to be like solid must plays in pulp, but I have had experience with them, and I feel like they're at least decent, and in the common, uncommon, and rarity slots. So it would be interesting if people gave some of these figures a try. Let's take a look at some other figures and see if there's any other ones worth talking about. Nikki Ramos. Well, let's see. Nikki Ramos is like a 25-point cheap perplex. She does some keyword cheating. She can remove action tokens. She has in cap, but I think for what she does as a cheap 25-point perplex, I think the character that does it the best is Madison for 20 points. Madison is just really good. So we have to look at Madison. I think she's definitely gonna be played a lot in pulp. She is only 20 points. She has shape change. Once per game, when Madison would take damage, you may instead place Madison adjacent to a friendly character with a mystical keyword. If you do, turn Madison to click number 3. If that character is named Wong, you may turn her to click number 1 instead. So once per game, she just kind of like comes back because usually if she's taking damage, she's getting KO'd, right? But like it says when she would take damage, so it's before she gets KO'd, and you can place her adjacent to a friendly character with a mystical keyword. So you can kind of save her. Plus she has shape change, so there's a possibility that she's not even getting targeted at all. And she has this damage power that's... then she has a movement power. 2 N's, 1 Y, but it's not where you think. At the beginning of your turn, roll a d6. If you roll a 1, an opponent places Madison up to 1 square away from her current square. So that's bad if you roll a 1. But if you roll a 2 through 6, which is more likely, you move Madison up to 2 squares. And that's free movement. It is... she has the copyable underroll team ability, so she can carry someone when you do that free movement, and someone else can copy her team ability, and you can get a really cheap copyable underworld team ability right now. There's so many ways of getting it onto your team, so I think Madison is probably the best way, because she has here she has a damage power. Perplex. Madison may use it a second time each turn if she's adjacent to a friendly character with a mystical keyword. So you want to play her with at least one character that has mystical keyword, so that you can get that double perplex. Double perplex for 20 points is insane. That's really good. I mean, I remember back in the day, this is when you could perplex up damage, but I remember Red Leader. Red Leader was a figure from a long time ago that could use perplex twice, and I think he was 50 points, and and he was really good, right? At being able to perplex twice for only 20 points, that's just so good. It's like a great support piece. Granted, you cannot perplex damage, but the game has changed, but still, having one additional perplex, having 2 perplexes out of one figure that's only 20 points is really good. Plus the free movement and the ability to carry someone, and she's also not an easy KO. It's not for your opponent. Your opponent's not going to... She's not an easy target for your opponent. So Madison is great. I think one of my top pulp figures from this set. Let's see. Let's go back a little bit. Did I skip anybody? Mr. Immortal. also a cheap perplex that has, you know, basically it's like impossible to KO him. Like it's really hard. Like your opponent has to roll a 1 basically in order for him to get KO'd. I mean, you can still score points off of him, but there's a 50% chance that if you KO him, you just don't, and nothing, and you don't score any points. So there's a like why would you even attack him, right? But he's 35 points for that perplex. I think if you want a cheap perplex, I think Madison's just a lot better, especially if you're running mystical. Let's see, Maya Lopez, the rare. I think she's really good. She has the team player team ability. So there's a lot of team player in this set. She has the ability to choose a standard power an adjacent opposing character can use. Maya Lopez can use that power until you choose again. So, you know, you could, if you charge her up against someone with, you know, well, no, let's say she's already being tied up by someone with outwit. Now she takes outwit and she uses outwit, right? So, and she can use that until she chooses again, or, you know, any power, right, that you need. She's a good utility piece, because she's like a utility knife. She can, a Swiss Army knife of, you know, she could just pick whatever power as long as she's adjacent to an opposing character. She also has sidestep and charge, so she can really move 5 before making an attack, and stealth, and close combat expert, so she's got good attack and damage values. She's hitting for 12 attack, 4 damage when she charges, and she gets +1 attack against characters that have Blades, Claws, Fangs, or the marksman keyword. So stealth and combat reflex is her whole dial. So if you keep her in hindering, then she's kind of hard to take out. So I like Maya Lopez for 60 points. I mean, do I think she'll be like part of the pulp meta? Maybe not, but I think she's a good figure. Let's see, who else is good? Let's take a look at Baby Groot. Baby Groot, 40 points for outwit, sidestep, and tiny size, so he can be carried. Yeah, this Baby Groot looks good. Oh, opposing characters within 4 squares in line of fire can't use stealth. Yeah, that's a great trait. Force Blast is free, but only to target. Yeah, I think Baby Groot is really good. I think that's a good figure for pulp. This Baby Groot rare. He can knock back a character for free. And sidestep and outwit, and does he have stealth? No, but he takes away stealth from opposing characters, so that's really good. Yeah, I like this Baby Groot. Cheap outwit that has some other utility. I like it. I like Baby Groot. Moon Knight. I think a lot of people are going to talk about Moon Knight, because he's the 200 point like big figure in the set. Big rare. He's really good in sealed. Very good character to pull if you're in a sealed event. I don't know how he'll be in pulp. I tend to steer away from like big tentpole characters in constructed. I think he might be a trap, but you know, it'd be interesting if somebody tries him. And you know, he's only 200. There are some really good figures in pulp. I mean, if you look in Notorious, there is that Lex Luthor that gives characters the Superman enemy team ability, gives characters outwit. So that Lex Luthor is a Herald figure. So you could get a Herald theme team. I mean, if you're looking for theme, but I guess you don't even need to use theme with him. I mean, he is mystical, so he works well with Madison, right? Madison is only 20 points. So you could get some other figures on there's a lot of low-costed mystical figures that you could get in to play along with Moon Knight, Blackheart Medicine, that's 70, and then you need a 30-point figure to with leadership. I don't know, so there's not a lot of cheap mystical leadership right now, but yeah, you could play. I mean, people could play around with that with this 200-point Moon Knight. I mean, you don't forget, you don't have to build theme. You could build non-theme. So it'd be interesting for people to try this Moon Knight out in Pulp. Okay, so let's see, what else do we have here? Kingpin. Oh, so that's interesting. That's even better than the Iron Fist with his willpower trait. Opposing characters within 4 squares can't use willpower, so it's just he just turns off willpower. I don't think he's gonna be really great in Pulp, but I mean Kingpin's a cool character. So let's see. Jack Russell. I think Jack Russell might make a splash in Pulp, especially if you have to do theme or if you're looking to do theme, because he has support as free. Support as free to choose characters with a monster keyword. So there's a lot of characters that have the monster keyword. So he can heal them up. Your Draculas, your Zarathos, your Werewolf by Nights, there's so many different like monster keyword characters. Your She-Hulks, I think, have monster. Maybe they have brute, but I mean, I know Hulk has. If you play Hulk usually has monster. So Jack Russell, you could just move him, right, and then support is free. So it's a free support. It's a free action to use support. And he can use it twice because let's say he's already in, let's say he hasn't moved, right? Let's say he hasn't taken any actions. Then you could support as free and then use support as a power action. So you could support twice. And he has Perplex traded. So, I mean, I know a lot of people are talking about this Jack Russell having like issues with his dial and stuff like that, but I still think he's a great figure. I still think with that free, anytime you have something as free that you can do, especially like healing for free, that's really good. Like it's just really good, right? So I like this Jack Russell, and the Werewolf by Night. There is a Werewolf by Night that is a common, uncommon, or rare. So if he hits the stop click, and when that click is revealed, you can replace him with a character named Werewolf by Night. So there is a Werewolf by Night that is legal to do that with in Pulp. So that's kind of cool. Let's see, Verussa. Verussa's interesting because she has a lot of anti-monster traits. And she also has like the assassin like target trait thing, so you can score extra victory points. She's an interesting figure. She might be usable in like combo teams and stuff like that. I think I skipped over Donnie Blaze. So a lot of people don't like Donnie Blaze. I mean he's got a lot of interesting things going on for him. I think that the thing that people are discovering right now about Donnie Blaze is that you can combo him. You can make opposing demons. You roll a 1, 2, or a 3. You can make opposing demons, and then you can kind of like feed them to your figures like Dracula, right? Like Dracula can is a vampire dial, so he can heal past his starting click if he uses steel energy. So if you make opposing demons and then kind of feed them to your own figures, they get cool things when they KO those figures, then that's like the whole point of Donnie Blaze. But also Donnie Blaze can also he also has this like sort of telekinesis thing that he does, where it says free place Donnie Blaze or an adjacent friendly character up to 4 squares away from their current square. If you do, an opponent may then place that character up to 1 square away from their new current square. So that's interesting and cool. Plus he has sidestep, so like he can sidestep himself. Like if you wanted to like have free movement for himself, he has a lot of free movement for himself. So plus he has barrier, so that's good. Sidestep barrier is good. He's got shape change, so he's not an easy KO. He just sits there making demons, right? And it's kind of cool. So I don't know. Donnie Blaze is interesting. I don't know if he's gonna make a splash in Pulp or in Constructed. I don't think he's really good in Sealed because you're usually not pulling demons along with Donnie Blaze. But I mean, in Pulp, it's interesting if somebody comes up with a really good combo team to use him with. So I mean, let me know in the comments if you have come up with anything with Donnie Blaze. If you have figured out a way to make him very useful, and you can share that with me in the comments. So I think that is it. Well, let me look at Lucky here. I know Lucky has to do with trick arrows. I mean, Lucky's good as a cheap enhancement, so maybe he might be useful. Lucky the Pizza Dog. Yeah, I like where it says real name, Lucky the Pizza Dog. Super Senses and Mastermind. Wow. Yeah, that's and Plasticity. Actually, that's pretty good for 20 points. And opposing characters within 4 squares can't use shape change. So that's actually I like Lucky. Really good. Generate a pizza object. So I wonder what that pizza object does. But yeah, I like Lucky. Okay, so all right, so I think that's gonna finish up my talk about the Pulp figures in this set. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know if I missed anything, and yeah, I mean, comment in the comments of this video about that Donnie Blaze, or about anything that I missed, any figures that you think I missed that are standout figures in the Pulp format from Marvel HeroClix Wheels of Vengeance or Marvel HeroClix Next Phase. I'm looking forward to the next set and reviewing some of the other commons, uncommons, and rares from other sets, and looking forward to see how this format evolves. So with that being said, thank you everybody for tuning in, and don't forget, wake up and smell the Clix.